I had it turned up pretty high. Because I was just listening to it today while finishing prep. Yes, hello, Internet. We're back for an exciting episode of whatever this is, Boone's Bounty.
Whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah,
How are you people?
God only knows sometimes. Whew. Anyway, alright, we're gonna pick up where we left off last time in a quick recap. The group. Sorry, something fell that I needed to pick up. The group last time decided that, or they were given a quest by Sybil's sudden patron, the fairy prince Oberon, to go to the Feywild and investigate why several of the Archfey have begun abandoning their posts. While they were reticent to do this, they all inevitably agreed for Sybil's sake, and really just to see what there was to see. In order to get to the Feywild, however, they needed to officially register with the Adventurers Guild and join an expedition that was heading to the Feywild. Putting themselves under the name Boone's Bounty, they joined up with another group called Tribulation's Edge, comprised of a human male named Benedict, a tiefling by the name of Asim, an earth elemental, Oglop, and a dragonborn by the name of Emerhawk. Wow, I forgot his name for a second. Going along with this group, they proceeded to enter the Feywild, the realm of the Fey, a mirror of one of the prime material planes, or maybe parody is a better word for it. Journeying through this strange forest where there were rivers made out of just slime, and a forest that was permanently swathed in daylight. They traveled for some time, heading towards the fairy city of Malkiel, the capital of the Sealy Court, seeking Oberon and going along with Benedict's expedition that has yet to really been detailed. Camping out for the night, or what passes for night, in an area that had a somewhat artificial darkness about it, the party was awoken under attack by some satyrs and dryads. Not knowing what was going on, they defended themselves, ending this threat while capturing one of these satyrs. Not yet having healed their wounds, they looked down at the satyr and were determining what to do with him. And that's where we're going to pick up. The satyr is on the ground, looking a bit panicked, having fallen over. His little goat feet kicking at the dirt, trying to back away from you, but too injured to really get away, and too frightened to fight back.
He had totally just surrendered.
Yeah.
Scylla's gonna stride on over. As she goes, she's gonna open her hand, and the sword is going to vanish in a bunch of glowing golden butterflies. It's very extra, way too much, one could say. And she goes to the satyr and she points at him, and she's like, "You." And she opens her arms wide and she goes, "Well, what's all this then?" Mind explaining himself.
He just looks at you and kicks his little goat feet again and tries to stand up, having fallen over, and stumbles, hitting the ground pretty hard sounding, letting out a little bleeding, like a bleat, as he looks down at his thigh, and there's a puncture wound of some sort that he's now grasping, and he is not responding to you.
When this is happening, Navori came out of the bush that she was hiding in, and is silently kind of going around and making sure everyone's looking alright. But she's mostly looking at Cass because she saw that Cass took a lot of hits.
Cass is fine. In fact, Cass is so fine, she's walking over to the satyr. And Sybil.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I mean, Devori's kind of... She's sort of eyeing them,
And, so... How big is the satyr? Like...
He's about 5.5 feet tall, kind of scrawny.
Alright, she
yeah.
picks him up by the throat.
oh my god.
Sybil
Okay.
knows he can't talk if you pick him up by the throat.
You lift him, and he starts kicking his little legs, and the sound he makes is kind of a choking. I mean, he's just choking, and he's reaching his hands up, trying to pry your thick mitt away from his neck.
Right. She's looking right like at his face with the helmet right there.
Mhm.
And like how injured is he? Like is it just a puncture on his like leg?
I mean,
I forget.
he took a beating.
Alright.
He surrendered, but he got his ass kicked.
Alright, fair. And then she looks at the others and she's like, get to hope.
I guess while they're doing that, Clive's gonna drop down from his perch in the tree. He's gonna go check on, like, Benedict and his group.
Okay.
They're further away, aren't they?
Not super far.
Aren't they, like, I thought they were, like, pretty much right around the corner.
Pretty much,
They
yeah.
were through the tree line.
Yeah. They are out of immediate eyesight, but not too far from what you remember.
Yeah, Clive's he's not just gonna, like, casually walk up, he'll still have his crossbow out, and he's going to be cautious about it. If he sees anything that might seem suspicious, he'll immediately, like, duck for cover.
Alright, give me a stealth roll.
What is my probably not that high. Something.
Okay. Yeah, you crouch down and kind of keep to the shadows as best as you can. And stepping near to where you think they were, give me a perception check now.
One of these days I'll know all these by heart.
I mean, I never know any of them by heart. I have to look up what they actually are sometimes. Okay, you take a moment to let your eyes adjust because you passed through the thin little barrier of dusk that you were in, out into the, typical bright green-tinted sunlight. You have to blink and clear your eyes, and when you're able to focus in, you see that Benedict, Amarhak, and Asim in particular are standing around kind of nursing some wounds, standing over what looks like the bodies of more satyrs.
Okay, Clive's gonna come out of the shadows then and just kind of walk up to them.
Okay. Benedict notices you first and, "Ah, Clive, my friend!"
See, y'all had some company too.
"Ah, two! I see you too had the company, yes. We were met by these foul satyrs, and they tried to get the jump on us, but ha! They would not stand a chance against Tribulation's Edge." Over in the corner, you just hear Asim go,
Well, I'm glad that you're all so capable.
"Of course
Does
we
it
are."
happen does this normally happen around here, or?
No, actually, it does not. And Benedict looks like he's about to say more, and then Asim steps up and, "Why don't you tend to your wounds, friend?" Benedict just opens his mouth and shuts it a few times, looking a little offended, but rolling his eyes and stomping off to the cart, tugging out some bandages and such, going to work bandaging himself up, walking over to Amarhak and offering his aid as well. With Benedict now occupied, Asim looks at you and, "No, this is the first time we have dealt with this sort of thing in this part of the woods. Typically, Relkath keeps them out, it would seem, but now not so much. No, the satyrs are new, or these ones at least.
Well, maybe the folk over and where we're going will know something.
Perhaps. It would be good to inquire. After all, we are trying to set up camp here. And he looks
Well-
over your shoulder, back towards the group that's still hidden by trees, and... Is everything alright with your group?
Yeah, they all seem whole for the most part. We actually managed to take one of them alive. They might be questioning them now.
Ah, excellent. Well, let us tend to our wounded over here, and we will come meet you shortly.
Yeah, take your time. We'll be around.
He nods his head and walks back off. You see Oglop now is missing like a chunk of his arm, but he doesn't look too concerned.
Yeah, he's a big
It's
boy.
fine.
Yeah.
It'll
Give him
grow
some
back.
dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll grow
He's
back.
gonna pick up some dirt and rub it over. Okay, yeah.
I'll bring some rope over to Cass and the satyr.
Yeah, Cass is just gonna hold him until he's like nice and tied up.
She'll tie him up.
Okay.
Navori
Sybil
basically
watches
is
this.
not-
Sybil watches two strong ladies tie a dude up, and she feels some sort of like weird way. And you see her eyes get wider, and then she just looks up towards the sky.
Maria, give me a sleight of hand.
Sure.
While they're doing this, Navori is pointedly not helping tie anybody up, but she's looking everyone over for like hurts and stuff.
Okay.
She's kind of inspecting Maria, especially because before she wasn't looking too great. So
She still doesn't look fantastic.
Okay, yeah, Maria, you tie a pretty good knot.
Then Cass drops him.
Okay, he hits the ground with a ah. Finally got one out. And he just he looks up at you, Cass, and kind of defiantly, but in that like I'm faking this sort of way.
Cass just looks at him, and then she looks at the rest of the party, and she's like, "Do not speak to him yet. Allow him to think on what he's done."
Confession
Yeah?
time.
Okay, right. In the meantime, are the rest of you alright? And you need some healing?
Cass just goes over to her bedroll and like starts backing it up.
Okay.
So are we just gonna?
Nolan, y'all good? Alright,
Are
okay.
we just? Are we just gonna like keep him here overnight until he decides he wants to talk, and then Sybil looks towards the satyr and gives him that look like she looks at him and she's like, "Listen, I've been tied up for hours on end before, and I can tell you that your hands are gonna start to go numb, and if they don't get attended to, they are eventually going to stop working. So I'm just saying you should think about how silent you want to keep in hour increments."
He says nothing.
She's like, "All right, you freaky bitch," and then she.
Maria's gonna sit down next to the satyr, and she's gonna start cleaning her guns.
Sybil's gonna go look for Clive.
Real quick, Maria, roll intimidation.
Oh god, that's a really bad skill for her.
Surprisingly,
She's
though.
terrible charisma.
Can't you use strength for intimidation?
You
too?
can, but I'm not can't. This isn't like a physical intimidation.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you just get to work cleaning your guns, and he looks at it but doesn't react. All right, so Sybil, you're going to look for Clive.
Yes.
Clive's probably heading back to the camp, so she probably won't have to go far to bump into him.
Sybil is gonna find Clive, and she's gonna hold her hand out and be like, "Listen, before you get any closer to the camp, I have and like you can see she's starting to look pale, and she's like, I have something that I need you to help me with, please. I don't know who else to turn to.
Clive's just like, what's the problem exactly?
Okay, you look like you've dealt with this sort of thing before. So, and she just gestures down to her foot where there's a fucking arrow sticking out from behind her ankle.
He just looks at, oh, you need that out?
Yes, and it hurts a lot, and I don't know if I pull it out, will I stop bleeding, and then I'll die, and then there's blood around, and then... No, you don't, because she's very far away.
Oh. If she had an arrow sticking out of her ankle, though, like... Jesus.
I hope it's not, like, actually in the joint. That would hurt.
No, it's not in the joint. But she looks at Clive, and she's like, and there's girls around! And I'm gonna look very lame in front of them, so please help me.
Sure, I'll see what I can do. Clive's gonna, like, I guess he's gonna inspect the arrow.
Sybil's gonna have a sit.
Okay. Clive, give me a medicine check.
Okay, oh god.
Do it with advantage since it has to do with an arrow.
Hey.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you sit down and inspect it, and it's not too deep, and it's not like a vital part. It's mostly like,
He's mostly
yeah.
Trying to figure out if the arrowhead's barbed.
So
So can he just pull? Like he's trying to figure out if he can just pull it out, or if it's gonna make it worse to just pull it out.
since you rolled pretty high, you're pretty sure it'd be fine. Like, it would spurt a little bit if you just yanked it out, but it'd be
Clive
fine.
yanks
Okay.
He doesn't warn her. He doesn't tell her it's coming. He just.
Alright.
Good man.
Sybil, you
There
take
we
1
go.
point of damage.
Oh my god.
Sybil's hyperventilating. She was like,
Okay, now, Clive's gonna use his. Oh wait, no, I picked a different one. Damn it! I was gonna pick Goodberry for his third spell. But, I'm just gonna create a Goodberry and give it to her like a lollipop.
You did good, champ.
Oh well, maybe next time.
Sybil.
There you go.
Sybil.
Now I just need to get that bandaged and cleaned up a bit. Maybe one of the other folks have some healing magic. That might work too.
Sybil, like, looks... She looks bad. Like, just from the pure shock of having an arrow taken out of her, this has never happened to her before. She's like, alright, thank you so much.
No problem. I won't tell any of the other ladies you had an arrow in your leg either. Or how strongly you reacted to having it pulled out.
That would... You cannot imagine the immensity of my gratitude. And she slowly gets up and she's like, you're good, you're a good egg. And hobbles over back to the camp.
Maria is gonna try and catch Nabori's attention if she goes by.
Yeah, Navari's just kind of, like, she's pointedly not looking at the satyr, but she's kind of occasionally looking around everyone else, and she eventually just sort of crosses her arms like, right, everyone's fine, okay.
Not quite, if you have a moment.
Oh, what is it?
Everything.
Oh.
Oh, you know everything.
I have several faults, and they are all cracked at the moment.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
goddamn.
Right. I'll help you with that. And Nabori is going to let me look at her things on roll 20 to see how or
Hey!
D&D Beyond to see how. Okay, good. She's got all right. Yeah. Namori's gonna use Cure Wounds on her. So she basically just like she's like, hold on just a bit, and she puts her hands out over like the cracked parts and gonna roll this healing. 1d8.
Gotta remortar the statue.
Yeah. A whole 6.
It's better than 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dancer, what are you over there getting into? Uh-oh.
Oh no, Shadow.
Oh, she said she's fine on healing. I don't know how much I've been like fussing with my mic, but
Yeah.
she said she's good on healing, and she's just gonna plant her butt close to Maria and just watch the statue as well.
Circle of people staring at this thing.
Yes, people staring.
I like that everyone's probably staring at the satyr, and Navori just has her back to him, like she's not
But
looking at the
at the
satyr.
moment,
Shun.
once Clive actually gets back to the camp, the first thing he's gonna do is give Boone like a thorough check out, make sure he's okay, no wounds or
No.
anything.
Okay. Yeah, I think he came out pretty okay, I think. I actually don't remember.
Good job, their part. He pulls out like a little strip of beef jerky and gives it to him.
He catches it midair like that dog eating a butterfly.
Cass is gonna give herself like. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We have a short rest. Let's spend some hit dice to heal.
Yeah, technically.
Assuming we're still rested.
Oh, I thought we were gonna have a long rest, a good long nap.
No.
We got.
Damn.
technically
You
we
did
got,
before
like,
this,
Yeah.
but this was like this was almost immediately after you woke up from that. You can opt to take a short rest.
Oh, well, I'm gonna do that and figure out what the fuck hit points I can roll.
Same.
Okay, then yeah, roll.
Once Clive is done tending to his dog, he'll sit down nearby and have a bit of a rest.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and spend hit dice as you'd like. Heal a little bit while the satyr is just kind of sitting there pissy.
Where on our new character sheet does it say that?
It says
Um,
that up top.
Yeah, there's
like, next to your name. There's short rest, long rest, share, campaign.
Oh, well,
Oh, hey! Sick!
Yeah.
I'll just use one hit die. I'm at most of my health.
I'm gonna use 2 hit die, but if that doesn't do it, I might use 3.
man, that's super
I'll
useful.
just
Wow.
roll one at a
What?
Just being able to like you click a button, it's like how many hit die do I want to use? Click.
Yeah.
I took a short rest and I used the hit die and everything. It didn't increase
You have
my
to
max
roll them.
HP.
You have to roll them.
I did roll them, didn't I?
Not in roll 20, no.
No,
oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, okay, I see. It
Yeah.
doesn't roll it for you. I can...
No, it just texts it off, ticks it off.
Oh, perfect. That's exactly how much I needed to fully heal myself.
You did it.
Okay. The satyr starts squirming as you guys just kind of sit there and catch your breath. And eventually, Asim and Benedict in particular wander over, and Benedict, "Ah, friends, I see you have taken a hostage. Well done."
What? Did you encounter any sort of thing like this?
Ah,
too?
yes, and we came out successful. Asim just looks
That's
at him
good.
and, I don't know if success is the right word for fending off an ambush, but yes.
Hey, I mean, you didn't die. I'd call that a success.
Fair enough. Benedict trundles over, and Kess, you see that he actually has a warhammer sort of like yours, And you all notice that he, for once, looks like he should be holding a warhammer. Like, he looks like he knows what he's doing with it, surprisingly enough.
Kess has doubts, but here we are.
Kess pushes X for doubt.
Yep.
You read my mind.
And he comes over and claps you on the shoulder, Navori, and... Well, shall we question our little friend here? Find out exactly what happened and why Relkath, may he... not a god, so... Why Relkath has not performed his duty.
Who the fuck is Relkath?
Ha! He is the glorious arm of the forest. The tendril that reaches through the earth and keeps the barriers secure. The one who reaches towards that... Benedict.
The very roots of the foundation to protect this forest.
Yes!
Just say like,
Precisely.
Wow. Wonderful.
Asim just...
Hey, Sybil raises her hand. I still don't get what you're trying to convey there, just...
Relkath is
is
the
it
one
like
that...
a fucking tentacle or
Like,
something
no,
in the
he
ground?
he is the protector of the Bright Song Forest. He is the
And
one
he's
that...
not doing his job, apparently.
It seems not, which could be a problem. It seems that this may have been just a harassing party from the Widow Haunt.
What is that?
The Widow Haunt is where the denizens of the dark, the orgiastic display... It is where the unseelie live.
Did you just say orgy?
Benedict opens his mouth. Yes, they have a lot of sex. If you will notice, satyrs don't wear pants. And satyr just... Nah.
I mean, neither do dogs, but we don't think they're degenerates.
Wow. Boon boofs. Oops, in agreement.
Yes, but dogs are not half human. Or person. Regardless.
But centaurs don't wear pants either. Hey, if a centaur wore pants, do you think he'd wear them, on all four legs or only just the back two?
Well, my friend Sybil, this is something I have put much thought into. Actually, let me draw you a diagram. And he walks over and grabs a stick from the dirt and walks over to you, Sybil, and just starts drawing a diagram of a centaur.
Sybil
Wow.
is so into this. She's like, yeah, so which one? Do you think it's number one or do you think it's number two? A or B? What's your opinion?
Well, my opinion is it's neither A or B. It's C. Behold. And the first diagram was of a centaur just wearing a pair of pants. The second one was like a centaur wearing like a really long pair of pants. The third one is a centaur wearing 2 pairs of pants.
Oh my god.
That seems like a really complicated way to wear pants.
Centaurs are magnificently complicated creatures that we could never hope to understand.
What if they had leggings?
He says that, and Clive just looks over at the satyr.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
You know,
Almost kind of like he's like trying to get the satyr to confirm that.
The satyr just stares off into the middle distance.
Can't believe he's here.
I really like how off topic we got there. It was fucking great. You know what?
Yeah, what were we talking about again?
Are we allowed to question this thing yet?
Well, I don't see why not. Benedict walks over in front of the satyr, puts his hands on his hips, and sets the warhammer down in front of the satyr, between its legs. Well then, friend, are you going to tell us what you want? And he doesn't do this well.
Intimidation -1.
Okay. Um, the satyr just, meh. They can speak common. They're just being difficult. Meh.
I mean, we
Wait,
heard
is
it
it
say it's
speaking-
surrender. So
Is it speaking Fae? Or is it just speaking Goat?
It's just bleeding, as far as you know.
it's just being like meh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Cass walks over and she casually crouches down and she's on the side with like the wounded leg. And like she just casually reaches over and like grabs the leg and like just sticks one of her fingers
Oh.
right in.
Oh,
the
alright.
puncture.
Make an intimidation using your strength with advantage.
All right.
Jesus.
Oh.
Dancer's gotten up by now to give them space for their intimidations.
Oh wait, hang on.
And you have advantage,
Intimidation.
so.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Okay, yeah, you dig that finger in, and at first it looks like the satyr's about to take it, but then just, fine, fine! I am just part of a scouting party from Widow Hunt. We are just here to cause trouble, since we have access to the Bright Song for the first...
From the back, Sybil goes, "No, you didn't fucking want to. You said you had to take us hostage."
We
Well,
wanted
dumb,
to.
and then-
We wanted to. We're just here to cause
Why?
trouble.
Why?
Cass keeps digging.
Cause we're just shitty people.
Sybil
I mean,
At least
looks
you're
at
honest
him.
about it.
Sybil's just gonna slap him. He's gonna come over and slap him.
All right, make an attack roll.
A
damn.
natural 20.
Roll your damage.
Oh no!
She's gonna
Kill
slap
him
this
via
satyr to
slap. Sybil ends up killing him.
I feel like
I think the damage is only 4. That's
One.
That's under my damage.
Just roll your 1d4.
No, like under damage, it just says 4.
for
Oh, that's
unhanded.
weird. Yeah, it does. Oh yeah, look at that. On a hit, an unarmed strike deals bludgeoning damage equal to 1 plus your strength modifier. Neat. Okay. Yeah, so you do... Okay, yeah, crit doesn't do anything to that then. Then, yeah, you do 4 damage and just knock him across the face. And between that and the finger jammed into his thigh, he just starts crying.
Wow.
I'm telling the truth. I'm just here to cause
Yeah.
trouble.
Cass
You're
is
all
gonna,
just telling the truth.
Cass is gonna insight it.
Okay.
Sybil rubs at her hand. That hurt.
As far as you can tell, yeah, he is not in a position to be lying to you.
She pulls her gauntlet finger out of his.
Sybil looks at him and she's like, "So were you gonna kill us? What were you gonna do when you took us hostage?"
We were just going to have some fun, rough you up a
Yeah,
bit.
you start to by shooting arrows at people. You know, that's not...
Have you never been to that is not... And then he passes out.
So
The more he said
Why
that,
didn't
she
they
wasn't
just-
even looking at him.
why didn't they just all run away before, you know, we... And Sybil doesn't finish that train of thought because it makes her feel bad things.
I mean, maybe their idea of fun and trouble is murder.
Well,
You know,
If
that's
that's
always
the
a
case, they
possibility.
better be willing to take what they dish out.
I mean, I guess they were. They didn't fucking run, did they? Or they didn't say anything to us.
Yeah, you'd think they'd, like, just go when the going got tough. It was a commitment to the bit that I feel
Unless
didn't need to happen.
that's part of the problem with the Fae in the area.
Yeah, maybe.
Kess unties the ropes.
Okay, yeah, you undo the rope. It takes you a few seconds because Maria got those knots in real well. But yeah, you get them done.
Kess like nods approvingly to herself.
Yeah, you untie him and he just kind of slumps over into the dirt, still unconscious.
Yeah, no, she's just gonna leave him there.
Okay. Actually,
Oh.
I would say someone should probably stabilize him.
Oh.
Oh,
Does he look like he's
Sure.
dying?
I'm just gonna paint you a picture here for a second.
Fair.
You guys, you nearly killed him. You did enough non-lethal damage to make him wish to surrender after seeing other people around him get killed. So he was already severely injured. He had a puncture wound in his leg, probably some internal damage, but still functioning, right?
there's like a brief glow around Kess's hand, and like she just seals up the hole in his leg.
Okay. Yeah, so between that and, having a finger dug into his thigh, almost to the bone, probably just based on the size of her finger, and then getting slapped upside the face real hard, yeah, that satyr was in shock. But yeah, now he's stable. And just unconscious. Benedict just, well, that was exciting.
Right. Yeah, that's a word for it. I got a question. Is this like this Relcath, protector of the forest fellow? Is he like an archfey?
Ah, yes, he is one of the Archfey. The one that is, well, was, I suppose. Not up to date on the politics of the Feywild, which, let me tell you, are wild.
So as
Get
he's
it?
saying
Get
that,
it?
Sybil
They're
is
Fey
gonna
and
look
they're wild.
meaningfully at
Oh
Namori.
my.
Yeah.
He points at
Yeah.
you, Dancer, and just smiles and nods and looks really
Yeah,
proud
she
of
has, like,
himself.
finger guns.
Yeah.
Maria looks her way to exit this reality.
But yes, he is the Archfey, the protector of the Bright Song Forest.
Where does he live?
He is, well, I don't know. I am not part of the political system of the Sealy Court. In fact, I should probably not be saying much for fear of attracting attention of that which I would not wish to see. AKA Relcath.
Right. So like, you say their names and they know when you're talking about them.
I have no idea.
Well, you just said their names. So.
I think I should not say it again.
Relcath.
Stop, please.
Relcath.
Please don't.
Relcath.
Please.
Relcath.
He
Relcath.
he rushes over to you, and tries to grapple you.
Oh my god.
Okay, what, I just want to know, what's he trying to do? Is he trying to put his hand over her mouth?
Yeah,
Is he wearing gloves?
yeah, he's wearing like
okay.
he's wearing like forearm high leather gloves. But he
Well,
failed.
in that case, Sybil's gonna try to dodge that.
I mean, it's just an attack roll, but he failed it. And he rushes forward, and you just kind of move, and he stumbles and almost falls past you. And please do not say his name again. I do not know the rules of the Fae, and it would be best
We can
if...
make a song out of it! Relcath, there are leaves all around, I said, Relcath, have your roots in the ground!
Navori
Benedict
starts
just
singing.
walks away. I seem just... Impressive. I've never seen somebody frustrate him so. Well done.
Sybil does a flourishing bow.
Well then. Our
Well,
wounded
is he
are
not?
tended to.
Oh, that's good. You think he would appear if we keep saying his name, like singing and stuff?
I genuinely do not know, and I genuinely do not wish to find out. The Archfey are folk that you should never want to run into. They are mysterious, and in many ways could be called a god. But since their influence does not extend past the Feywild, save for one or two instances. Well,
As that's going on, Sybil in the background looks off into the middle distance.
yes, the Archfey who do not... simpler do not run the risk, yes?
Maybe.
Well, we are hoping to get going to Malkiel. We should be there in about half a day's time, if you are good enough to travel.
I mean, I am.
I should be-
Theoretically, everyone else is too.
Theoretically, then we will be leaving shortly.
Okay, before we do that, I'm just gonna... And she goes and she, like, settles up to Navori.
Yeah.
She looks at Navori.
Navori
And then
looks
she
back.
sticks... And then she sticks her leggy out real far.
Kess, as they're doing that, Asim looks at you kind of pleadingly.
Yeah, Navori notices the leg and
She doesn't
She-
have
It seem like
I
there's
just wanna
no
note-
expression.
She
Sorry.
doesn't have to cast any spells because I healed myself, but I just, you know, for continuity's sake, that probably needs to get bandaged.
okay, yeah. Navori, like, if it needs to get like, she was just gonna stick her leg out too and heal via leg healing, but if it needs band-aids, she can do that too.
Yeah, it just needs bandaging. Like,
You have
it...
to do that with your feet.
Yeah.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, it's just kind
She's
of
got
like an...
boots on,
it's
you
just
know,
like an
it's-
ugly kind of scab at this point that probably should get bandaged up so it doesn't get all infected.
You're right, Navori's, she's gonna try to do that.
Okay, you don't need to roll anything since it's already healed. You spend like 2 or 3 minutes wrapping a bandage around it, tying it off. Ta-da!
She makes it look like if no one's actually watching her bandage, it just looks like she's examining her leg and like being all impressed, like, wow, that's a good leg.
Yeah, I do a lot of walking. Sometimes I do this, and like Sybil tries to do like I don't know what leg exercises look like, but she winds up hurting herself, and she's like, ooh,
That's a really impressive symbol.
I'm not, it's amazing because I'm not even trying to be.
Kess, Asim just continues to look at you, and then Clive, he looks at you. Dancer, he looks at you. Maria, he looks at
Kesley.
you.
She's got her just face that is.
I mean, whenever Navori's done, she's done. She's not taking forever.
Yeah, no, he's just, he looks like he is like, wow. Wow. And he's looking at the ones that aren't being wow.
It's like the seniors looking at the freshmen.
Kinda, yeah.
Basically.
Right, we will be leaving shortly now. And he shakes his head, just walks off. You guys gonna do anything else before you head back out?
Kes just kind of sits down and like makes sure she's patched up.
Okay. So, yeah, Kess, you patch up anything obvious looking, you kind of suck it up further.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, she's fine. She's got 15 hit points.
yeah.
If they're not walking, well, even if they were walking, like, Eventually, Navori just kind of, she's holding her holy symbol and she's sort of looking up and off into the distance and she's like, was that fucking you? Did you fucking make that fire appear out of nowhere? She's just sort of muttering under her breath about fire.
Okay.
And where the fuck did it come from? And, you know, just like talking to apparently nothing.
Okay.
Kes looks over at Navori and like she's looking at what she's holding and like listening because she's a mom and she can hear everything. And like she finally stands up and she walks over to Navori and she's like,
Navori stops and just looks up at Cass like, I didn't do it.
Sticks the holy symbol behind her back.
Yeah, it's like a necklace just flings it around, so it's just on her back now.
Only one god in this household, young lady.
no, she's
Too
like,
real, to be honest.
Yeah. Woof.
you draw your spells for my god?
Yup, I do. Navori like covers her mouth and sort of looks up. She's like, the god's actually pretty neat.
They
Why?
provide what you need when you need it.
Yeah. Navori just has this sort of awkward, kind of embarrassed look. Like, you know, I'm kind of like new to the whole god thing.
Yes, I can see that.
Damn.
Wow. But they seem pretty neat. Albeit sort of a jerk sometimes, you know, like when I fall off a roof, I hear them laughing at me, but... Either way, do they usually let you use fire? Is that like a thing? I suppose it depends on the god, doesn't it? The god doesn't even know what it is. Shit.
Kes, like, she purses her lips and is just kind of like, it is different between gods.
Yeah, I sort of figured. You know, actually, when we have, you know, more time, we're not like trying to keep up with this whole group. I'm curious about some things, you know, because I know that you follow God too. Obviously have more knowledge than me.
Kes holds up a hand and she's like, I am perhaps not the best example there, but I can offer some guidance.
Well, that would be neat. I really could use basically all the knowledge I can get for the both of us, really.
Really, it is a journey between you and your god.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that was gonna be a thing. Eventually, I was gonna be dragged into some fucking shit, and I fucking knew it. Now, I haven't been able to tell if he's actually here, though, like, this whole time, but I'm guessing, yeah, because... I don't know, anyway.
They are
Sorry.
not... No, they are not always with you, but your faith in them is what will carry you. She seems kind of awkward.
Yeah, Navori also seems kind of awkward, like, she doesn't really talk about her god to that many people, and Kes is kind of like the opposite of the sort of person that she normally talked to about things like
Yeah.
this. So she's just like, yeah, we can talk about it later, yeah?
Yes.
Right, Namori just starts walking kind of hurriedly.
Guess it's just gonna go pack up her bag, put it on, and start walking.
Yeah, Clive's already like packed up and ready to go too. He's just been letting all of this madness play out.
Okay. If you guys aren't going to do anything else, then a few minutes later, Benedict, Asim, Oglop, and the cart that is still carrying Emerhawk, who you know it's carrying him, but you don't see him, start trundling past. And we are about to head out.
If Sybil just has a look at the crate, right?
The cart?
The cart.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that thing. How much room in there is there for her?
Oh, there's room. Emerhawk is not taking up the entire thing. There's some crates of goods, and then there's space for at least one person.
Sybil gonna hop on it.
Okay, no one stops you. Well then, I see we have picked up a hitchhiker. Ha ha ha! Let us go. And he begins walking off.
As they go, Sybil is going to look at Benedict. And she's gonna be like, hey, Benny, is it alright if I call you Benny?
No, not particularly, but I know you will anyways, so I have accepted it. What do you need?
Yeah. So you're very verbose, right? You know, it's a good quality. I like it. You ever happen to sing?
No.
She says, and she has her panpipe in her hand. She's like, shame. And then she's gonna start playing a jaunty tune for them
Okay.
as they go.
A little jaunty tune kicks in, which, by the way, if that's gonna happen, I need you to send me some music at some point. Like, just for funsies.
Jaunty tunes.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
for
just-
now, just imagine the Kokiri forest. Just
Okay. You guys travel to that. About an hour and a half, 2 hours pass as you're just heading through more and more forest. The path doesn't deviate much now that you're back on it. Overall, it is not a very impressive, nor is it too strange of a forest now that you are on this portion of the path. You continue on, passing another river that has a bridge over it. This is a significantly larger river than the one before, which I guess was more of a stream.
Is it also slime?
You can make a perception check if you'd like to know.
Yes.
All right.
I need to know.
Or things to stick our
She
hands in.
does too.
A whole 20
Okay.
for the slime.
Perception.
Hey. They want to
25.
know.
They gotta know from the book.
Oh, wait, they
Oh wow.
It doesn't look slimy. It looks like it's moving at the same pace that a normal river would.
Devori's gonna go touch it anyway.
As Navori goes to go touch it, Sybil's gonna play a dramatic sounding note in E minor.
Okay. Well, you walk off to the side of the bridge since it is somewhat raised.
Oh, bridge, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bridge. But for the sake of it, you're heading off to the side before the bridge actually starts, and you kneel down and you put your hand in it. It's kind of warm and it's definitely wet. Doesn't smell like anything,
But does it feel like water, or does it feel like something else? That's the question.
It feels like water,
Okay.
but so do a lot of things.
Maria's
All
looking
right,
expectantly at Navori, like, well,
When Navori puts her hand in it, she like dramatically is like, and, like shakes a little bit.
The note goes sour.
And then she's like, "It's water." She-
Ah,
big sigh.
Shakes her hand off and grins.
Dancer will add that to the book.
This
All
river
right.
was water.
This is real water.
You guys continue over the bridge. It's a somewhat long one. It takes you a better part of 10 minutes to actually cross this bridge, and the whole while, it is just kind of one big smooth piece of wood. It's not carved spectacularly, but it looks sort of like someone just bent a large tree. Once you hop off the other edge of it, you just continue moving kind of unimpeded. Nothing else really happens. It's a boring ride for the next 3 hours. There's not much sound of life in the latter half of this. The last hour or so is mostly quiet amongst you guys, and the trees kind of start to space themselves out as it seems like you're getting closer and closer to the edge of the forest. You travel for about 30 more minutes, just quietly making your way through. Sybil, have you just continued playing your panpipes for 4 hours?
Sometimes she takes a break and sometimes she plays. It's not like, Kokiri for his 10-hour remix.
Good to know. Okay, yeah. And after this last 30 minutes or so, the trees definitely begin to thin out more, and in the distance you can start to see what looks to be a giant waterfall. Even at this distance, where you can't quite see it, you hear the sound of rushing water collapsing down the side of a cliff. Benedict's back straightens a little bit. Asim smooths back his hair in preparation of something. And you continue to move forward. They don't slow their pace at all. The trees continue to thin out, and you actually start to see more and more of this massive waterfall, and you start to get an impression of just how large it is. You are a significant distance from it, but it is beginning to take up the entire view in front of you. It's just filling your vision. And it's fairly high. And soon enough, you're at the edge of the trees. You're at the edge of the trees. In front of you is the path kind of abruptly stops at the edge of a cliff in front of this waterfall. And closer up, you continue to get this appreciation of just how large it is. And it is about as big of it's about as big of a normal city, maybe even larger. It just dominates the entire horizon. And looking a little closer, you can see that there are outcroppings sticking out from the side of the waterfall, covered in trees, and you can see the top of spires, is what you think they are, golden capped, nice smooth white, reaching up. Several of these little outcroppings have these spires atop them. Benedict and Asim in particular stop and then let go of the cart and look back to you guys and, "Come, we are here." And he continues walking forward until he's at the edge of the cliff. And he just stands there looking over the side of a cliff. You are a significant distance away from the nearest outcropping. To the point where it's a ludicrous distance to even just be looking at. There's really no concept of how are we going to get over there. And Benedict looks back at you guys and, "Have you ever been to the Feywild? You have not, isn't that right?"
No, this is really fucking impressive.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you,
Maria.
Are you gonna haze us now?
Are you gonna push your soul off the side?
Well, would any of you care to take the first step into the grand nothingness between us and Malkiel?
Yeah, why not?
Alright. Clive, you saunter forward.
Yep.
Sybil was gonna go and do it, but like she tried to get off the wagon and she landed on her bad foot.
Okay. Clive, you step out and you take a step, a little tentatively. Your nature gets a hold of you briefly, the monkey brain kicks in, but your foot settles down on thin air. And you look down and there's a shimmering light beneath your feet. It doesn't coalesce into anything, but there's something beneath you that's letting you walk. So you take another step. And then another. And then one more, and you're about 5 feet away from the edge of the cliff now, and you guys see Clive just standing on nothing. And the air beneath him shimmers, like he's stepping onto the top of a pool of water, almost. And then looking up, you see that the sun... Well, now you can just see the sun, and it is bright and unimpeded by trees, and it moves, or doesn't move so much as the light catches in a certain way, and as it falls down upon the space between where you guys are and Malkiel, a rainbow bridge just appears. This massive span of rainbow light. Not quite solid looking, but certainly there between here and all the way extending to the city. And Asim just... he likes to do that too much. And just starts walking out onto it, clearly thinking nothing of this.
It's fucking pretty is what that is.
Yeah, Sybil's thinking a lot of this. Her eyes get wide, and, like, they're kind of sparkling, and she's just like, whoa!
Yes, it is quite impressive. Don't look down, though. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Sybil was absolutely walking over and looking down. And
Wait,
she's like, wait, what happens if we look down?
Do we fall if we look down?
No, it's just exceedingly high, and the greatest form of advice I ever received was not to look down. It is an abyss down. Just ridiculously far down to the point where it doesn't become darkness, but you can barely see the bottom, where the waterfall stops.
The Earth Genasi really does not want to leave the cliff.
Yeah,
Is she still on the cliffside?
Oglop is standing there with her.
Oh no!
She's admiring the view. She wants to be able to tell Tristan about this later, but she does not want to leave the cliff.
Sybil looks over and she walks back, and Sybil, of course, is like, oh, do you hold my hand? And she holds out her hand.
She just doesn't know what to do, but she doesn't want to leave.
Sybil's like, come on, it's fine. Just follow Benedict's advice. Don't look down. Sybil, actually, let me just check something real quick.
Oh boy. Oglop, meanwhile, has reluctantly started walking in this way that, like, he's done this before, he hates it, but he's done it.
Yeah, big sigh.
Does it look like Moria absolutely won't move?
It looks like she'll take a while to get her courage up, but eventually she will.
Oh, okay. Sybil's just gonna stand there patiently and wait with her.
Okay. She does eventually, like, one foot shuffles slowly forward, and then the other. And then she has to, like, test her weight on the rainbow.
It's completely solid ground as far as your feet are concerned.
Okay, that's a little more comforting. If it was spongy, she'd be scared.
Spongy.
Spongy light.
Yeah, Navari had run out onto the rainbow and, like, ran around a bit and definitely looked down and looked up and spread her arms out and Like, you know that thing where it's like, I'm flying kind of thing.
Oh my god. Maria's just like, she just closes her eyes and reaches for Sybil's shoulder. She can't do it.
Devori does
Sybil kind of like links. Sybil kind of links arms with Maria. That way, Maria doesn't have to go through the indecency of holding her hand, and leads her across the bridge.
Yeah, Devori's gonna come back after a little while and get Maria's other side.
Panther is going to Cass a little nudge and saunter onto the bridge as well.
Cass just sighs and like brings up the rear.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
Clive's,
imagine Tess on a rainbow bridge.
if everyone's kind of being like slow or hesitant, Clive's probably like a good ways ahead of them now, just like, whoa, look at all this.
How is Boone doing?
Boone is very
no!
unsure about
Doggone glass floor!
It's
Boone, like, he doesn't like it, but like he sees Clive going, and he got to keep going too.
Is he doing the ground slink?
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
but would
just
Boone
slinking.
jump into the wagon?
I mean, I guess.
Amarhawk at this
The
point has peeked out and just like is looking out, kind of looking a little forlorn as he's looking at the bridge. Like a really forlorn looking dragonborn is a hell of a sight.
Just a sad, tired dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, Clive, you're a little bit ahead of everybody. It takes you about the better part of 45 minutes to cross this bridge. It was far.
Damn.
Yeah, it was far. The thrill of the Rainbow Bridge probably wore off about 30 minutes in.
I
thank
mean,
God.
to be honest, Navori loves it. Like, she's got her one arm around Maria's arm, but her other hand is just sticking out, feeling the wind and
Oh
stuff.
god.
Okay. And as you approach the edge of the bridge, you start getting closer to this massive outcropping. And again, now that you're so close to the waterfall, it's incomprehensibly large. The sound of water rushing briefly is deafening, almost. And eventually you grow acclimated to it, and it's like the closer you get, the duller the noise is. It's kind of like an inverse reaction. Stepping away makes it louder somehow. Going closer, you eventually do see that a massive archway stands between what looks like the entryway of the city and the end of this rainbow bridge. It's made of marble-like material, almost like the portal that led into the Feywild, but more solid-looking. And it has this gold, intricate pattern that is clearly meant to resemble trees and leaves and various intricate-looking nature-y patterns. Everybody continues in. You enter the city, eventually, and you're greeted by a sight that's not entirely like Sigil. Where Sigil's always covered in like a perpetual night state and is always bustling no matter what time it is. Malkiel, the seat of Titania and the home of the Sealy court, is a city bathed in sunlight and somewhat subdued. Tall, willowy individuals roam the streets, dressed in clothes that seem like they're made out of nature itself in some way. You see creatures dressed in dresses that look like they're completely made up of leaves. Others are wearing tunics that look like they're just woven out of water. But there's not enough of them to really fill the streets like you're accustomed to in Sigil. The streets are about as wide as you're used to, and there's, well, nowhere near as many buildings. This is a city that has a lot of emphasis on aesthetic, it seems. This also means you guys stick out like a sore thumb.
Like burn.
Benedict turns to look at you guys now that you're within the city proper, surrounded by these high spires. And he looks at you guys and, well, our destination is a little farther. We're heading to the Fletching's Catch. It is the new Adventurers Guild that we are helping open in the Feywild as part of the agreement between Titania and Sigil. If you would like, you are welcome to come. If not, we can tell you where it is and you can go along on your own business.
Might as well head there first, get our bearings.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well then, follow me, friends. And he continues to walk then, the cart picking up. Asim is not subdued, but he's on behavior at this point. And you pass more of these individuals, and some of them have dark blue skin and hair that looks like it's dripping snowflakes, almost. Others are bright flame red skin, and those that are not walking so much as they're kind of jogging at all times. They look like they have somewhere to be. You guys continue walking off westwards now. You're actually able to tell the direction, pretty much all of you, based on just the position of the sun. Sybil, you're probably the only one that has no experience with this sort of thing.
Sybil doesn't care. She's a peacefully happy idiot.
Yeah. As you're going, you begin to notice that the buildings of Malkiel seem to be made of a strange, pale, smooth stone. They're more cobbled together, not just this uniform structure, but they all look like they're made out of like these like bricks of this almost. But the thing that stands out to you the most is as you pass through an area, suddenly the area around you is bathed in this verdant green light. And you look up confused because the sun is out, and you see that the sun is currently behind the roof of this massive spire that is made partially out of glass, it looks like, casting this greenish light down on you. And as you look up, noticing this, you see that there are several of these spires made out of this colored glass that you can only assume that the sun will pass by and cast this light out onto that part of the city. And then at the center of it all are a collection of incredibly tall spires. Almost incomprehensibly tall. They reach up and practically scrape the sky with how tall they are. And they're made out of the same pale white stone, but circling around it is a golden filigree. But I guess filigree isn't the right term considering how big it is. But you get the impression that if this was smaller, it would, be considered, like, decorative. And Benedict looks over and goes, "Ah, yes, that's the Garden of Titania. It is the seat of the Sealy Court, from what I understand. Not that I've ever been. I try to stay out of politics myself, but it is said that is where Queen Titania and her consort Oberon make their home."
Wonder if we're gonna have to go there.
Oh, well, hope you don't.
Sybil just levels climb. Look.
What? It's a pretty place.
Yeah, gorgeous, really.
You guys walk for a bit farther, passing by several buildings that look more at home. Shops are always very obviously shops. You see more of these willowy individuals, and you don't see anyone that's not one of these sorts of creatures that you can't really identify too well. Eventually, you come to a rather small place. Um, it's still made out of that same stone, but looks almost fresh, like it was only recently constructed. And atop the door is the familiar symbol of a fist. And Benedict, yes, the Fletching's Catch. Do you wish to come in? It's a rather small building, but we can introduce you to the, proprietor, Erinel.
Seems prudent.
He just nods and keeps walking and pushes open the door and heads inside. And the indoors, Sybil, you'll have to get out of the cart to go in. I assume that you do.
Well, yeah, she's been out of the cart. She was
okay. Right. You guys all head into this building, and it is rather small. Within, it's all very simple furniture, though the furniture is carved out of this interesting sort of wood, where I guess carved is also not a right term. It looks like it is wood that has been coaxed into certain patterns. And you see a single desk, and behind it you see an individual that is, first and foremost, pretty. They're tall and willowy like the folks that you've seen here, with very high cheekbones and very elegantly sharp features. They have very pale skin, but peeking out of their skin are little plant buds. They look almost elf-like, but you've never seen an elf look so timeless, really. And this individual catches you guys enter, and they look at you with eyes that are just completely golden. They don't have, sclera. Or pupils, excuse me. And, hello. Benedict, is it? Benedict just, hi, hello, Arinel. Long time no see. Ah, yes, it's been some time, I suppose. Not too sure how things go in Sigil these days. Regardless, I see that you've brought friends this time, and yes, these are my friends, Boone's Bounty. They are close companions of mine and are traveling to the Feywild for the first time ever. You just hear, well, hello, Boone's Bounty. I am Arinel, the proprietor of the Fletching's Catch. Are you two adventurers?
I believe we are, yes.
Wonderful. Well, I should tell you up front that we do not have the sort of accommodations that you are accustomed to in Sigil. At best, I can refer you to a nearby inn, who will gladly take you in for a nominal fee. But otherwise, you are free to partake of any resources that we have at our beck and call. And Benedict steps up. Ah, yes, that's why we are here. We have brought with us supplies for you, my friend Arinel. Good.
Devaria covers her mouth a little bit.
Good. We have been in need of construction materials and various goods to keep our limited adventurers alive. Many of the Eladrin here are not quite on board, but some are, which is good. We just need more to convince them. Please take them around back. Ah, yes, Amarhawk was already on it. Good. Well then, is there anything I can do for you friends?
The inn recommendation would actually be helpful.
Yes, the Singing Satyr. It is...
Good. Satyrs.
They are an interesting sort of people. Never had much trouble myself, so long as you know how to deal with them. They do like a good song and dance, and wine is definitely a good way to ply their favor.
That's good to know, actually.
Well, I see if you are new to the Feywild, it is good to have a bit of advice here and there. Now, the Singing Satyr is about 4 blocks down the road if you head westward still. Do not cross the Rainbow Bridge heading to the next island over. That is a little too far.
Are all your bridges rainbow bridges?
Ah, yes. It is
Oh.
convenient and impressive and nice to
Yeah,
look at.
lovely.
Are they all as long as the bridge that helps us come in?
Oh, no. That's the only one that is so terribly long. It's a nice form of defense against Mav.
I did like it. It was just a little disorienting for my first time, you know?
I
Oh,
thought it was great.
first times tend to be a little disorienting.
Yeah. Well, does anyone have any questions? Because let's not end on that note.
If you are curious, there is also a shop nearby that you might be able to visit. We try to encourage people to go visit as a way to foster goodwill between us and their smithy.
What's its name?
What is its name? You think I would know. I do try to keep up a good relationship with the proprietor.
Oh, you know, things just slip from me sometimes. There was a store down the road where I grew up, and I swear I only referred to it as the corner store. I never actually knew the name, but I knew the clerk on a first name basis.
Isn't that interesting? Well, the man's name is Aethed. Ah, right, yes. The Prancing Peony. They are fond of alliteration here in Malakiel. It's a bit of a thing.
Makes names easier to remember.
Ah, yes. Now, if you wish to go to the Prancing Peony, simply tell them that I sent you, and you might get a bit of a discount.
And what is it they mostly deal in?
Oh, all sorts of things. Typically fanciful magical items. The weapon industry's not quite a booming one here, but the fun little things are.
Well, that does sound intriguing.
Worth it, look.
I'm interested to know what people around here consider fun, so we'll have to check that out.
Wonderful. Well, if that's all, I have some work to get to. Benedict. Yes, we have some of our own work to get to. We will be here to help unpack the goods and put together a few of the things that we have brought with us. If you need us, this is where we will be.
Thank you,
All right,
Benedict.
well, we'll come find you if we need you.
Wonderful. Take care, my dear friends of Boone's Bounty.
Take care.
Boone barks.
Have fun. Win awards.
We
You're
always
a peach, Betty. Bye.
Alright, so you guys head out. You're outside again, just kind of standing around. Some of the creatures that you assume to be a ladrin now are just walking past. Some stop to look at you kind of curiously. Others look like they're about to walk over and say something, but are quickly snatched by their companion.
Don't talk to the weirdos.
Cooties.
Yeah. So where are you guys going?
Yeah, Lauren's like, yeah, what do we do? How do we, do the thing? She just kind of gestures, looking at Sybil.
I don't know. I just want to go to the store, okay? I just want to go to the store. And Sybil starts walking.
Alright.
We can secure lodgings later and figure that out, I think.
It doesn't seem like this place exactly has a bustling population, so I don't think we have to reserve a room or anything.
Probably not.
Okay, so you guys head off in search of the shop. You see that it's only... Welcome back. You guys... You head to the shop, and you notice it's not too far from you, probably about a block or two. And even though it was called a smithy, or you heard the word smithy, it's not really, or it doesn't seem like a place where things are forged. There's no forge or anything that looks like it would be where heavier things are manufactured. You guys all just head into the store?
Yeah, as Sybil heads into the store, she remembers that she doesn't have any money.
Okay. Well, as you enter, you are greeted by an atmosphere that is welcoming in the worst sort of way.
No.
You know when you walk into like a used car lot and you're like, oh shit, someone's gonna come talk to me? That's sort of how this feels. And as you walk in, you hear a quiet bzzz noise, and you see this little glowing light zip out from behind the far end of the shop. Before you can look at anything else, this little dot of light comes zipping over to you and stops directly in front of you, Sybil. And it is a tiny pixie man, hands on his hips, wearing a tiny apron.
Tiny, like tinier than Chris?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He is a very minuscule boy.
Yeah. What do you want?
Hospitality!
Wrong place for that.
You're right. I want wonder. I want excitement. I want to be dazzled.
You come on strong. Right then. Welcome to the Prancing Peony.
You asked me what I wanted.
It's usually a rhetorical... Anyway, let me show you what we've got for you. And he zips away. Just this little ball of light. And it gives you a chance to actually look around the store. And it is actually a rather nice-looking store. There's a few shelves, but mostly it's things kept in glass cases up against the walls of this building that its interior is furnished with a nice dark wood color, where the outside was still that stonish thing. The inside is furnished very specifically. It's filled with these glass cases. There are displays of, like, cloaks put up around mannequins. There's armor on display. You only see one or two weapons, and they don't necessarily look like traditional weapons, but you look at them and go, I could hurt someone.
Are there guns?
Make a perception check.
Oh no.
You barely know what a gun looks like.
What is a gun, really?
Despite having seen one.
I mean, yeah, you've seen guns, but that doesn't mean you really know.
What is a gun, if not a weird boomerang?
Well, yeah.
What?
Yeah. A malfunctioning weird boomerang.
Oh, yeah? I guess.
No!
They're both ranged weapons. They're both, like, curved real weird.
Anyway, moving on.
I'm also gonna make a perception check for that.
Okay.
Out of curiosity.
Okay.
Oh no!
Maria?
Maria's still thinking about that
Totally
rainbow bridge.
Yeah. Are you guys all in the store, by the way?
Yeah. Well, Navori is.
Kess, Dancer, and Clive?
Yeah, Clive's
Yeah.
he's,
Hanging
Clive's just
out
kind of
outside.
Clive's wandering around.
Cass never wants to
Oh.
participate.
Dancer would have nudged to Cass and eyebrow waggles and go in the store, whether Cass follows or not.
Cass does not follow. She
Well,
stands outside.
Okay. Well, the little pixie comes zipping back over with a bottle in his hands. Or, not in his hands, riding a bottle, basically.
Jesus.
He can't carry it. It's more like...
He's a bottle fairy.
Yeah, kinda. And he hoists it, and this is a fun one that I think you'll really like. We call this the Storyteller's Potion.
Ooh, what's it do?
Well, when you drink it, and he releases it, and it floats next to him so he can gesture. And he starts gesticulating, and when you tell a story, your words will be accompanied by illusory images. You don't really get to control them, but they are things that you describe. Instead of painting theater of the mind, you are theater of illusion. But they can't go too far from you, and they're only visual, they don't make noise, and they can't touch anything. But it's really cool, and it lasts as long as you think about it, or about 10 minutes.
Alright, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it the things you say that turn into illusions, or is it the things that you think?
Well, it's kind of either or. You should be careful what you describe, because it will sort of conjure anything that you give enough description. Or don't. Basically, don't be vague unless you want to, and really don't describe something you don't want to see.
That sounds really fun, though.
But
So if I say, alright, if I say there's a man, will he always be wearing pants, just implicitly?
in your mind's eye, is a man wearing pants implicitly?
No.
Always.
Then yes.
Okay. Alright. How much is it?
This? 5 gold.
Sybil doesn't have money.
Yeah, Navori kind of leans closer to Sybil and is like, "Do you want it?"
Yeah, I kind of really want it.
Also, we were directed here by Erno. No,
Aha! Well, if you are here as part of the Fletching's Catch New Adventurers program, well, 3 gold.
hmm.
Ooh.
We'll take it.
Excellent. Well, he kind of has to drag the potion through the air and just holds it out to you, Sybil.
Navori hands him 3 gold. Or
The 3 gold are they weigh as much as he does, but he takes them, and one by one, he just kind of tips them over to the side towards his pocket, and they vanish.
I need to know, like, what does he look like?
I can't think of a person, so I'm gonna have to describe him. First and foremost, he's very tiny. He doesn't look very old. He looks like he's probably like in his 20s, facial features wise. Fairly well built for a pixie. Like,
Oh.
yeah, very tiny, and he's got bright blonde hair and a very tiny curled mustache.
oh no.
Great. What?
I'm instantly suspicious.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, don't
Okay,
say that.
so I'm gonna put the Storyteller's Potion in here, and add it to your character sheet later, or I'll make the item for you to add, unless you want to custom put it in yourself. Up to you.
I don't know.
Okay. He flits away, and what else are you interested in? We have several other exciting things. We've got...
Wait,
What? Hmm?
Sansa, did you have a question about the potion?
I was curious if you had any more, sir.
Ah, yes, we've got several. We have about 3 total. Would you like them all?
Well, I'll take one. And she looks around to the room.
I'm actually curious about other things too.
Well, we can just start up a list. We'll put down 1 more of those potions. Let's see. Well, I've got another potion. Give me 1 second. And he zips away and comes and drags another one back. And this one's in a vial where the other one was kind of in a bottle. It's a much smaller vial. This looks like a shot where the other one was kind of like a full cup. This is a potion of augury. Now, it doesn't taste like anything, which can be a bit of a problem, and I've been trying to solve that. But, you know, it is what it is. When you drink it, you'll get an omen of a result of a specific action that you plan to take within the next half of an hour or so. Now, if the results of your action are going to be good, you get stronger briefly. You feel healthier, like you can take on the world. But if the results are bad, you get sick for a little bit.
Yeah, well, I can never drink that.
Yeah, that don't sound like too good of an idea.
It's popular at parties.
I could see why though.
Well, if you're not interested in this, we have some more martial things. Now, none of you look like the type, but follow me. And he flits away back to a mannequin, and he floats in front of it, and he's gesturing to this... Well, it looks like armor made out of a lot of straps.
Oh no.
Oh, I've seen this at a party once.
Ah, well, I didn't know that you have rope armor where you're from.
Something like it.
Well, with this armor, it's expertly woven out of hundreds of threads of elven rope. Whenever you wish, you can untangle a bit and you just have a length of rope whenever you want.
Is it like, how long is the length of rope though?
About 100 feet total.
That's a lot of rope!
Yep. We can even throw in some buckles if you want to, like, section it off.
I can't answer because I'm laughing too hard.
Sybil is smiling the way only a shitty asshole with a FetLife account can.
Whoa.
Jesus.
This also, you have to be able to wear heavier armor for this. You can't, if you're a bit of a weenie, it's a little too heavy for you to wear.
Sybil looks at Maria and she's like, you know, you were pretty handy with the rope back there, I'm just saying.
Maria's like, I know a lot of knots.
Sybil just she tries to say something, but it just kind of comes out like her gay little heart can't take it.
How much is the rope thing?
20 gold. And that is after the discount, unfortunately. It's a little on the pricey side, but it's a hell of a fun tool to use.
God damn it!
Is it now?
I can't believe you're selling us bondage armor.
Just gonna lose it.
I found the coolest thing online that just lets me make shit like this.
Do this on purpose? Surely you had to have known
Oh god.
that we'd all go there.
Yeah. And Anyway, is this something you'd be interested in?
Potentially.
Wonderful. Let me see. What else do I... Oh, one moment. And he flies back and drags out 2 more things. One of them is a shield, and another one is just like a straight metal rod. He holds up the rod. This doesn't have a name, but... Just stay with me here for a second. Have you ever seen a chicken, a goat, a pig, or a sheep?
Oh no.
Yes.
Well, fantastic. When you lift this rod and you say the magic word, well, they become your best friend. You charm the nearest chicken, goat, pig, or sheep within 120 feet of you for 8 hours.
So if we charm Jeremiah, could we use him in combat?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Jeremiah has transcended.
Okay, but did they like it? Like-
Well, I assume so. They think that you are their best friend for 8 hours.
You're not charming them into cooking them.
Oh, that would be awful. Wow, don't do that.
Yeah, it's dark.
Sorry.
It's okay, we all have those thoughts sometimes.
This would be 12 gold. And then we've got the last thing. I mean, we've got more, but this is the last really impressive thing that I've got to show you. This, and he has to, like... He's not holding this. It's a shield that's, like, triple... No, it is a big shield. There's no way he could lift this. He is eclipsed by it. It's like a person against the moon. But he makes like a grunt. He grunts and looks like he's lifting something heavy, and it floats out in front of him. And it's a shield that's kind of jagged around the edges. It says, "This, I call it a shield of blades." Now, what it does is, well, you. And he looks at you, Clive, and flits over with you, or flits over to you and extends the shield out a little bit. Reach in and think about a weapon.
Clive reaches in and thinks about like a dagger.
Okay, you reach in, and like your fingers brush up against the metal, and you instinctively close your hand into a fist, and there's a dagger in your hand.
Well, that's handy.
Ooh, I like that. I really like that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Sorry, not sorry.
Ah.
Come on.
Now, this shield lets you conjure up any non-magical hitting weapon that you can think of.
Huh. Could be pretty useful in a pinch.
Do you have to be...
Yeah.
So you don't have to be attuned to it to reach in and make a weapon?
No, anyone can do it.
Does it work as a shield too?
Oh, yes.
How much is that?
This is...
Sybil looks towards the exit where, Kess isn't, but is looming nearby.
Yeah. Dance or two.
45 gold.
I'm thinking about that. Navari, like, kind of flutters her, like, tiny stub wings where her shield is strapped to her back that she hasn't used yet. But, yeah, she's like, do you have any, like, stabby things, too?
Well... I have one thing. I don't know how it's working yet, but I'll be right back. And he flits away and leaves you guys in the shop by yourselves for a time.
Oh boy.
Yeah, what's up?
No, Navari was just gonna look around for anything interesting.
Yeah, we'll have another try.
Including, but not, well, entirely like. I mean, obviously she's kind of looking for knives, but she's also looking for anything that would catch her mischievous eye.
Um, you see a bag of some sort. You see a cloak, but it looks like it might just be a cloak. You see another one of the shields that he was carrying around. And then you see a bunch of like more mundane looking things. At this point, he comes flitting back and holding this little dagger that is covered in eyes, like paintings of eyes.
Yeah.
And this is, well, I'm not too sure how useful this is, but I call it the stabber of eyes. Oh, yes. Anyway.
So do you like stab someone in the eye with it?
No, not quite. When you hold the weapon, you can see in all directions around it. And it lets you see real good. But if someone blinds it somehow, you are also blinded. It hurts your eyes too.
What blinds the dagger?
Well, like a bright light or a blind spell or something.
Or like a sheet thrown over it?
Well, you can just not look through it with the sheet. Yeah.
But that sounds really neat. Like, if you. Okay, but is it just if you hold it? Like,
Yes.
what if you threw it?
No. You have to be holding it.
Shit. That's still really cool.
This one is, 50 gold.
Alright, I gotta think about it.
And that's all that I've got that I think is really cool to show you. We've got other stuff, but really these are the big ones.
What's that bag over there, out of curiosity?
Oh, it holds a lot of coats.
Holds a lot of coats? Like,
Yep.
just coats?
Yeah.
Yep.
So what if you put, like, pants in there?
You don't want to
What if
find
we-
out.
But now I really want to find out.
Does it come with coats?
Does it, like, make a black hole or something where the bag was and just start eating everything?
You don't want to find out.
Navari just looks at Sybil and she totally wants to find out.
How many coats does it hold?
500.
That's a lot of coats.
It is. It's a lot of jackets.
What would you do with that many?
I'm not sure.
It's up to whoever does it, I guess.
Start a rental service?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would be pretty useful for transporting particular coats.
It's only like 10 gold. It's really... Yeah.
It's a little niche.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you sell ammunition.
Wait, before we get to ammunition, I just have a few questions about the coat bag. Alright. Does it accept rhymes? Could we put goats in the coat bag? Could we put coats of paint in the coat bag? Could we put coats of arms in the coat bag safely?
You were
Okay.
asking about ammunition. Well, we don't. I can maybe make some for you. It's small enough that I could put some together. It's not too hard. It won't be anything special. I don't know how to work with less magical things these days. Not quite yet.
Well, that's fair. You don't happen to know anyone in the city who would.
You might be able to find some at the Bright Anvil Forge, but I don't, maybe.
Fair enough. Thanks.
No, you wanted to buy one of the potions. Anything else?
we'll actually throw 2 more on there, and she steps out and like peeks her head around to look for Cass.
Standing there, leaning against the wall with her arms crossed.
Hey, they have some really interesting weapons here. You should come look.
She Cass looks over at her and she's like, my warhammer is fine.
But you have a shield. There's a shield that can turn into light. You know, she gestures. Great sales pitch.
Cass just kind of looks at her.
Be useful. It might be useful.
Then I should buy it.
I don't. Okay.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Well, she heads back in the store.
Okay.
It's like a mix of a friend that doesn't want to be at a party and a dad at a One Direction concert.
Dad, this thing will be really cool. All right, buy it then.
Yeah, Navori's kind of like, you know, I really want both of those actually.
Okay, so the rest of the potions, that would be 3 total. One of the shields,
Yeah,
the
and
dagger.
Yeah.
And how about the armor? Your tall opal friend there looked real interested in the rope armor.
God damn it. I'll take the armor.
Wonderful. Okay.
This is our fate now!
It'll be useful. It'll be
Hell.
useful someday.
She's thinking of like a gun harness, honestly. But
Just
Well-
like a bonding experience.
No, a gun harness.
If she like attaches a grappling hook to like some part of the rope armor, just think about the shit she can do.
oh my god, she has 3D maneuver gear.
Oh
Oh my god!
She does.
Are you ready now?
Right. Well, all together, since you're buying pretty much everything, we'll do 200 gold for the lot of it.
Nah.
Navori's doing math.
I was also. We do have almost 50 gold in the party coffers that is shared as well.
I can help as well. And you said it was 20 gold for the rope.
I mean, I can get the things that I want.
Yeah, out of game, y'all can pay for your own stuff.
Well, Dancer will at least cover the night or 9 gold worth of potion.
Okay. Let me put in the items you guys are gonna buy. Yeah. Who's paying for what?
Navori's paying for the dagger and the shield.
Okay.
Alright, just gonna buy the armor.
Excuse me. Shit, where is it? There it is. And the dagger.
We're gonna have to figure out what that armor looks like.
We have artists who can do it.
God,
Let's all
she's gonna
make
like.
our own concepts.
She's gonna end up tying herself up, trying to figure out how to make it into a harness.
Do
Watch.
an art collaboration for the
Yeah.
It's gonna be a collab. We're our own visual development team.
Yeah.
You know, everyone gets together for a weekend, orders a pizza.
And draws bondage armor. Huh.
That's fine.
It's probably happened before.
Yeah. Right. All right, yeah. So you guys, 200 gold total. And then those are the things. Again, you can custom add it to roll 20 yourself, since none of it is like stats. Or you can wait for me to put items in. It's up to you.
What's the command word for this? Is it like stitched onto the armor or something?
It is whatever you want it to be.
Oh, good.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, he looks at you guys. Well, nice doing business with you.
It was nice doing business with you too. What's your name?
Aethed.
Hey, nice name.
Thanks. I made it myself.
Wait.
Yep.
Is that a thing the Fae do?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is.
Well then, get out of my shop. Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, see you.
She hands off one of the potions to Sybil.
Sybil has 2 now.
Wait, I thought that. Yeah.
Dancer got 2. I wasn't sure if Sybil picked up the one that Dancer
Yeah.
had before.
I mean, Navori paid for 1 for Sybil.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
Okay.
Math. Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys are out in the street. Kess, you see them all pile out, laden down with some new goods.
She gives them the kind of look that's like, "Are you satisfied with your shopping?"
No one can tell, though. She just has a mouth.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
Sybil goes, I got a potion.
Me too. Navori got that shield. Navori, you should show her the shield.
It's really neat, look. Navori is holding the shield, and then she,
Does
like...
it come in a size small?
Wow!
It wasn't like... It was massive because the dude was a pixie. It's like normal shield size when Navori's holding it.
Navori's proficient with shields, by the way. She can use them, so she's not, like, having a problem with this thing. But, she's holding it out, and then she, like, reaches... I don't know. Like, how do you reach into it if you're holding it? Like, how does that work?
You use your other hand.
Okay. Well, she does whatever it does. Makes it into a sick-looking dagger.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're still holding the shield. It's just like a dagger forms in your hand.
Yeah, it's like... It's fucking neat. I can actually use my shield more often if I want to, like, you know, like... Yeah, both things.
Does this mean that as a party we now have infinite swords?
Maybe? I don't know.
Don't know how many weapons we can pull out of that shield a day.
Well, I mean, like, isn't it only one? You only
Oh.
have one. I don't think, like, it's more than one, is it?
Sybil reaches in and tries to pull out a dagger.
A dagger comes out.
So,
Sybil reaches in with her other hand and tries to pull out a dagger.
You pull out another dagger.
Sybil puts that dagger into the crook of her arm and tries
You
to
know,
pull
The second you stop holding on to it, that dagger vanishes in a puff of smoke.
Oh, Cloud looked like he was about to say something, and then he immediately stopped. It's like, oh, well, never mind.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking, you know, if they stayed, we could, like, sell them.
That's exactly what Cloud was thinking. He was like, if we have infinite daggers, that's infinite money.
Suddenly
You know,
it's
it'd be
Skyrim.
really neat, though, if they stayed long enough so you could, like, throw them at someone, right? Like, that would be pretty neat.
Sybil, still holding on to one dagger, narrows her eyes and thinks real hard about the next thing she's gonna do. But she doesn't do it.
Devori looks at Sybil and is like, "Were you gonna try to throw it at someone?"
I wasn't gonna try to throw it at someone. I was gonna try to throw it That doesn't seem like a good idea, really. We're in a city. It's dangerous.
Navori pulls out another dagger and she throws it, only not really at anything, just sort of at the ground.
The second it leaves your hands, it just turns into smoke.
That's fine. Unfortunate, though.
Well,
What
we
she
did
really
that.
need. Wait. Navori, like, tries to pull out a giant warhammer, like, guesses.
Are you proficient with them?
No. I don't think so. If that's a special proficiency, then probably
No,
not.
it's just like martial weapons, I believe.
Okay.
I don't think
she's-
you have martial though.
Yeah, she's good with simple weapons.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, you slowly pull out this massive warhammer, and as you do so, like, it eventually starts to slump, and then just hit
Yeah.
the ground with a lot.
No, it's just like, I can do it. She doesn't actually want to use it. She just wanted to see if she could do it. And then she lets it go. This is fun. I like it. Okay, right.
Cass just shakes her head a little bit.
So, where are we going? Maya, did you want to see if they had any ammunition at that other place?
Oh, it's not pressing. We could go find an in room.
Alright, I just like, what are we gonna do?
Well, you know,
Yeah?
yeah.
Like, you think,
Listen, let's just go to the inn instead of talking about it on the street.
alright.
Okay. You guys go in the direction of the inn, which was the other way, about 4 blocks down, and eventually you come to what looks like a very normal inn. It is pretty much exactly like the sort of inn you would see in Sigil, like, conspicuously enough. Outside is a sign that says the Singing Satyr, and heading in, you see that it is an inn, as generic as they come.
This is almost suspicious a place like this, you know? Like,
It's a marketing tactic, you know? Like, if they looked like every single place in the city in Mokayel, you wouldn't get business.
And you see behind the bar at the far end of the tavern room is a rather large, portly-looking creature covered in, like, long, shaggy gray hair. Or fur, depending on how you want to... what semantics you want to get into. And they haven't quite noticed you yet, but you certainly noticed them.
How many rooms do we want?
I don't know.
Well, Mario will stump on up to the counter then.
Okay. When you do so, the creature looks up, and you see that it kind of has like a smashed-in face. Not like he got punched, but like kind of like a pug face, but not quite that cute.
Oh, jeez.
And a little pair of glasses settled upon like this broad, flat nose, and... Oh, hello. Who are you?
Maria, I'm here with an adventuring party and we're looking for rooms.
Oh, well, wonderful. You've come to the right place. How many rooms do you want?
There are 6 of us.
Okay, how many rooms do you want?
She turns around and looks at the party.
Navori looks at the symbol.
6, I get.
6
How
rooms.
big are the rooms?
Oh, well, we've got some with 3 beds, some with 2, some with 1.
What's the most economically friendly option here? What's gonna hit all Wolverines?
Hmm.
3 people to a room would be 1 silver per room. Individual rooms would be 1 silver each room. It's just a silver a room, really.
It's a silver either way.
Well, I'm fine with the Sybil.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean,
Cass goes up, puts down a gold coin because she doesn't have any silver coins, and waits for change.
do any of us have silver coins?
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't
He shuffles
know.
around and takes the gold coin with a large mitt-like hand, and then
I'm gonna
counts
be real
out
with
9
y'all.
silver.
I don't even know, like,
Cass takes 7.
what the conversion rate is.
She takes what? 7?
He takes 7 back and then waits for a key.
He slides over a key. Just the 1 room, or are how many rooms? 3? 2?
I'm paying for my own.
Oh, right. Well, here you go.
Thank you. And she's gonna go upstairs.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah,
I'm still trying to find out where gold is on my character sheet.
I don't think Clive has any silver, so I guess he's gonna do the same that
Yeah.
It's
Cass.
in the equipment tab. There's currency at the bottom.
Okay. Clive, you get in your
Yeah.
own room?
Yeah.
Alright. He counts out your silver and takes your 1 and gives you the 9 back.
Yeah. Nobody's like, anyone else want a room with us? Looks between Dancer and Maria.
No, I'll get my own. I don't sleep very much.
Bah.
Appreciate it. I'll be on my own as well. And she trades up a gold for silver as well.
Okay, yeah, 9 silver. Mario, do you do the same?
Yep.
Alright, 9 silver back.
Yeah, Navari pays for the room for her and Sybil.
Okay.
And the super fuck off bros get their own room.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a sleepover, they're gonna braid each other's hair.
Alright. Well, as your group takes a rest, let's go on a quick break so I can use the restroom.
Okay.
We'll be-
Sounds like a good idea, actually.
We'll be back in a few minutes, people. Hey, we're back, Internet. Hello.
Hey.
So, we left off briefly there for our break with everyone taking a good nappy nap or going to bed because it has been a full day. Is anyone doing anything special before they go to bed or whatnot?
Navori might awkwardly go to Cass's room.
Okay.
And, she'd kind of knock on the door and just sort of fidget while waiting.
Cass opens up the door.
Yeah, Navori's like, well, we're gonna awkwardly talk about this now because fuck it. You want to talk about God stuff?
Oh
I
boy, do I.
Cass kind of like she like moves her head back like she's surprised. I hadn't. Sure.
All right. Navori just walks in her room.
Cass leaves the door open.
So Navori, I don't know, she walks in there and she realizes she doesn't know like where Cass is gonna go, so she just kind of sits somewhere like.
I don't know what the.
It's a
Yeah, I
it's a
don't know
pretty
if it's
simple
like-
room. There's a bed up against the far wall, a window, a desk, and a chair.
Did you
There's
just cut
bed.
out? Yeah. There's a bed.
There's bed.
Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah.
You have everything you need. There is bed.
You have bed. What else do you want?
It is cotton floor. In the old country.
In old country, you be thankful for cot. No, it's a relatively Spartan room. It's just a bed on the far wall, a window that looks out onto the street, a desk, and a chair.
Okay. Navori almost looks like she's gonna go sit on the bed, but instead she goes to sit in the chair and pulls it close to the bed because I figure the chair is probably smaller.
Cass looks like she's gonna just stand there and then realizes that makes her really tall and sort of goes over and sits awkwardly on the end of the bed.
Navori like takes in a breath and she's like, right, okay, so I don't really talk much about this because you know how Sigil is, right? Like they're all like, yeah, only these certain gods exist and none of the other ones do, and it's like not at all as I was expecting when I went there, but anyway, so like Navori like stops and she just kind of looks at Cass and she's just sort of like assessing her expression kind of, and sort of, you know, it looks like she's not like looking her over, but like she's deciding if she wants to commit to something or not.
Cass looks at her like she looks at everyone, and
Yeah.
although it's slightly less judgy, she's waiting patiently. Her posture is patient.
All right. Nori's like, right, so, I am like, apparently, I don't know if I'm the first, but I'm like one of few, like, clerics of a god that is just starting out, or trying to figure out how to be a god, yeah? Like a fledgling, I guess. So neither of us know what the fuck is going on, basically. I agreed to help this deity, sort of get the bearings. So I'm trying to learn everything I can about, you know, deities in general, like how they work, how they communicate, you know, what would be best for them in terms of like, she's just gesturing, like, you know, like temples or whatever, if I should try and build one of those somewhere. You know, like everything, yeah?
Hmm.
I know that the deity's benign, and
No, no
What?
god is benign.
oh, what do you mean? But they're not like evil.
No. What I mean is they and Cass is like she braces her hands on her knees and like has her hands up near her face. Like she's thinking.
Yeah, Navori's is patient.
God affects many people
Yeah.
through their beliefs and their tenets. And they are powerful. They have the power to change people, to sway hearts and souls. So God is never benign.
Oh, well, the only reason I came in contact with this one is because they helped me out of a really awful spot out of nowhere.
That's what I mean. They made a difference.
Yeah, but it was a good difference. It's not like I'm doing this to manipulate you sort of thing, because I've been around a lot of that, and that's not what I feel from them at all.
That is good.
Devori, like, she's sitting there and she doesn't really realize that she's like holding her holy symbol when she's talking, but she is, and she kind of looks around, looks at the floor, then sort of looks at Cass with almost a sort of concerned but curious expression, and she's like, ever since you sort of introduced yourself to me, I've been wondering, and you don't gotta answer this or nothing, but like, what does it mean when a god falls? Does that mean like they're not dead, are they? Or can they like get back up?
Cass opens her mouth and she closes her mouth.
It's like, I mean, look, I know it's different, right? I know they're far beyond us and all of that. But I'm dealing with a god that's trying to, figure out how to do all of this stuff. And I don't know, is it just like they mess up and that's it? Or I don't really know how to ask what I'm curious about here.
I think it is not something that you and your god need to worry about right now.
Yeah, but like, what about yours?
Cass is like she's really quiet for a couple of minutes. It's kind of awkward because it's really hard to tell what she's thinking, and perhaps we should stick to discussing your god. Mine is a different case, and I do not want to discourage you with his tale.
Alright, if you don't want to talk about it, but that's fine. Right, so, I guess in general, like, how do they usually reach out to people best? Is it just like by chance? Or, I know that like you pray, You need to know, like feel sort of.
Consider yourself your god's mouthpiece. Peace. Now that they have chosen you, you must be the one to bring them more followers, to speak out about their beliefs.
They don't even really like. They're just like, yeah, do what you want, and that's like.
Then what you and your god should discover is what they stand for. You must have. Your god cannot do everything. They will not be able to draw strength from every source. And in order to grow in power and strength, to both protect her followers, and create more, and grant you all of your abilities, as it were, there must be focus.
Okay. I'm gonna, yeah. They're really sort of dodgy about answering questions, but I don't know. Like,
Then you must choose for them.
Navori just kind of tilts her head, like, yeah, fair.
What you believe and what they are to you is what you will focus on.
Okay. Alright. And that will, like, make them stronger and make it easier to communicate with them. Give them sort of, better ability to, do whatever they do.
In a sense, yes.
Okay. Navori, has this look like she's determined for a second. That might mean I'm getting a bit more messes, but I don't know. Honestly, I think it's worth it, yeah? Like, I think their influence would be good to have spread, like, if they could do what they did for me, for others. I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to do, but, like, they're gods, so obviously they'd have way more ability to do it than me. I just hope I could help them somehow, yeah? I'm sort of like, I don't know why the fucking god would choose me to do anything.
That is not something I can answer.
Yeah, me neither.
We all choose our own paths.
Yeah. Which is good. And Navori would probably ask just a few more general questions about deities. Like, just normal stuff, I guess. Which is sort of like...
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Cass gives her, the best answers she can. So, in terms of the temple, she'd be like, well, that depends on the god, and also it's probably kind of down the line.
Yeah, just stuff about, what would holy symbols sort of... would it be good to have those in more places, or, just general base knowledge god stuff that she's not entirely sure about, that she couldn't really find just by word of mouth and sigil. Yeah.
Yeah, Cass would probably tell her that symbols only have meaning when their meaning is attached. So she. So Navori carrying around hers and making it visible and dissociated with her and her deeds would probably make more sense than just leaving the symbol somewhere for someone to find it.
Okay.
Unless, like, the god wanted her to do that.
In which Navori finds out everything is very vague.
Religion.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, eventually she'd probably go back to her room to let Cass fucking rest after, some general bullshit questions. and she'd thank her and everything.
Yeah. Cass pats her head and sends her on her way.
Aww. Okay.
Good talk.
Good talk, champ. Okay, so, with all that done, morning comes. Well, what you assume to be morning. Unlike Sigil, this is kind of the opposite. The sun never really fully sets here. It does travel a trajectory from one end of the waterfall to the other. It goes from east to west, it just doesn't set. Yeah. So, technically it is morning. The sun is peeking out over the horizon of the waterfall, streaming in through the windows of the inn, waking you all in time. Going downstairs, you see that breakfast is already laid out in full. It seems that the proprietor of this inn is here to take care of what few guests he does get. But he is nowhere in sight.
Cass gets some breakfast.
Navori eats everything, as usual.
Okay. Everyone just kind of eat brekkie?
Yeah.
I breakfast.
Okay. So, with food done, what are you guys doing for the day?
That is the question.
Yep.
Yeah, Clive's just kind of
Yeah.
hanging out, waiting for people to decide what the plan is. 'Cause he has no idea.
Yeah, Navori's kind of like, she's got her mouth full and she sort of looks over at Sybil and she like waggles her eyebrows, but it's that sort of way like, what about the thing?
Sybil sits there for a moment and she's like, well, I'm not exactly known for my clever ideas. But I think to start, we should probably figure out who the Archfey are. Because we know one, but there's probably others. And, proceed. Perhaps I could be wrong, but maybe if we go and we find that one guy, we'll figure out what's wrong with all the other guys.
Do you mean real cast?
Yeah.
Do we just say his name a bunch? You
Well,
think?
I mean, I tried that in the woods, and that didn't get us very far, so...
Maybe.
I have the sense that's probably like ringing a doorbell for too long. I don't think we want to.
Yeah, and, well... Okay, here's the drawback. Right, so we can go and we can try to find Relcath, but I have a feeling that there's probably something royally fucked going on, right? Just seems like it. Because why else would a bunch of Archfey just not do the jobs? And if we go to find Relcath and there's something wrong with him, or he doesn't want us to find him, he has what I assume is complete control over the woods. Just, I don't know that for sure, but it seems like it. So that could be fucked. Yeah, so if anyone else wants to throw their ideas into the ring.
Well, We do have the Adventurers Guild here. We could ask around about the Archway, at least.
I mean, there wasn't really. What's there? Like, did we see anyone else in there?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure if we just ask the proprietor, they'll tell us.
Or set us on the right path.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
Worth a try.
I suppose you could also... maybe not.
I could. Well,
Yeah.
you're right. Here's the thing. Oh, okay. So we're not gonna say his name. And Sybil, sits up and she sits in the chair like a real person because she wasn't before. Because I wasn't before, and now I'm sitting up. And I can't illustrate that outside of words, but she leans in and she goes, I don't want to waste anyone's time too terribly, right? But I kind of want to get in there and see what's going on, how the other... What's the plural of spouse? Spice?
Spices?
Spouse
I believe it's spouses.
I really like spice. So I want to go in and I want to take a look at the spice cabinet and just see what the quality of life is. And just for my own peace of mind.
That seems wise.
I was.
You think? Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say on the matter.
Cass, she looks at Sybil, and you can't see it on her face, but there's a look.
Oh no.
She has a look.
Oh no.
Run.
She says, I wish I had thought of this sooner, as we are now on our bound to complete our duty here. But from what I have heard about the Fae, the deal that your patron made was not with you, yes?
I'm sorry.
Was with your father. What?
Yeah.
Nothing. Continue.
So, and it seems like the Seedy Fae rely on their reputation as other tricksters, those that do not break their oaths, because that would make them unseelie.
Yes.
So the risk to your powers does not ride on you doing anything, as the deal is made. It's not with you, it's with your father. So if Oberon threatened to rescind his power, he would be breaking his oath.
All right. He can't rescind his power, right? But there's nothing in the fine print that says he can't make things real difficult for me if I piss him off.
Well, we
I
don't
mean,
know
like
that.
anyone could do that, really.
We don't know that because I doubt we have read the... If, in the event there was a contract, I doubt anyone has read it.
I still don't think...
Although I am not suggesting that you antagonize him, I think...
I don't want to antagonize him. I just want to just get a look at what's going on in the spice cabinet, and decide if I want to go through with that thing that he talked about.
Well, I would also like to say that sometimes I like to think that anything that isn't explicitly stated as don't do it means you can fucking do it. So there might be lots of other options here.
Right, and here's the thing though. I don't know those options. Blankety blank isn't gonna tell me those options, and probably the only way to figure out what the fuck those are is to find my dad. And don't know who that bastard is, so yeah.
Right, but like, okay, so if we do the thing right now with the other Archfey, wasn't that what you wanted?
Yeah, and I guess we're gonna have to do it because of that.
So
But what
you
I'm
might be able
saying
to
is-
find out the options. I'm not saying don't go look at the spice cabinet. I'm saying like don't decide on anything immediately, yeah?
No, I don't want to decide on anything immediately. I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do, because, I think having as much information as I can is important.
Yeah.
But I just thought it'd be a good idea to tell you guys that I'm gonna go.
You think we should come with you?
Well,
Let us.
you see, I wasn't gonna just walk in.
Yeah, like how do we even like get in there? Like what? It's just like royalty or some shit, and they got all these weird things that you got to do. That
I was.
you know any of that? Because
gonna-
I don't know any of that.
Okay, here's what I was gonna do. I was just gonna, and Sybil like leans in a little more, and she's like, I was just gonna disguise myself as a servant and, poke around.
Navari has this. She just has this face like, just like brought up some awful memories. He's like, well, I guess. I mean, you wouldn't know the routine or anything though. I'd probably catch you pretty quick, but you could try. Worst that happens, you can yell for, who, and maybe that would be fine.
I mean, okay, the alternative is I just walk in as myself. No!
Yeah, no, you could, just pretend to be a thing to it.
What if because here are the two options if I walk in as myself, right? Either I get a warm greeting and that's fucking awkward, or I don't, and that's also awkward.
Yeah. I don't know, like, Faya Trixie, right? Do you think they appreciate being tricked? Because I mean, like, sometimes it's just like, hey, yeah, that was fucking good. That was a good one right there. Or are they like, you know what? How fucking dare you?
I think it's like a pretty split divide, like, when you say a pun in the middle of a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, I guess that means that you're like, this is just fucking chance. So let's do what you want to do then.
Huh. Well.
Can you disguise yourself?
Cass pipes up. She's just like, in terms of our searching for the rest of the Archway, it may be a good idea to use our relative obscurity ahead of time to find out information on them before you reveal yourself to be one of.
No. Don't mention it. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. All right. Okay. I say we ask around, and then I go to do something arguably very stupid, And if I get caught, then I'll just ask my buddy, my pal, my patron.
The other option is that we contact your patron for further information first. After all, he set us on the path.
I mean, to be fair, do you think, like, probably would have given us that information in the first place if he wanted to?
I get the sense that his position puts him at a disadvantage here.
Oh, I mean, he probably knows the name of, like, all the Archfey. I just figured he didn't want to fucking tell us.
Why don't you start with Railcast then? That avoids the question altogether.
Yeah.
Well, now, my thing is, like, if there's something wrong with Railcast, he has what we assume is complete control over the forest. I mean, do we want to potentially go toe-to-toe with someone
No,
who
but
could...
I think we could ask around and see what the behavior has been when it started.
We can't be too suspicious about it, because...
I mean, we're already fucking suspicious. Look at us compared to them, right?
I know, but the thing is, y'all think, right, a group of fucking schlubs from Sigil come in, you say the guy's name enough, and he notices you, so if we got his fucking name in our mouths enough times, he's eventually gonna fucking come looking for us. I just want a comprehensive list of who's doing what and what the domain is. That way we can choose who we want to go to. Because as easy as I think it would be in the short term to go after, Forest Man, it might not be advantageous for us exactly. I mean, when we got ambushed, we got pretty roughed up.
At this point, Kess gets up. Then the easiest way to gather information is to ask. And she's gonna go out the door.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go find Aronel.
Okay. You guys.
I think a direct approach will work here.
Alright, so you guys, do you all just head on out?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys all.
Oh, I don't know who they're thinking of, but Cass is literally just gonna start gathering information at random. She's gonna act a tourist, a 7-foot tall, intimidating tourist, but a tourist nonetheless.
Yeah.
She's an adventurer. They come in all types.
Okay. So, do you guys all at least head outside?
Yeah.
Alright, so everyone goes out. Immediately, yeah, there are people out on the street walking around. It's, again, not wholly abandoned, just not bustling. The Adventurers Guild is now east about 4 blocks. Titania's Garden is always relatively near from the looks of things because it's right in the center of the city. And it looks to be rather large in the sense that, it doesn't really matter how big the city is, just you go 10 blocks inwards and you're gonna hit the garden in some way. So, where are you guys going?
As we pass the garden, is there just can I look inside? Can I see any handmaids and servants?
Well, make
around?
a perception check.
That's not gonna go well for me. As
Oh my
one, a 0 if you count my -1 modifier.
Unfortunately, just the topic of what you all just spoke about has rattled your nerves a bit, and you are just distracted by kind of everything. But you do see one thing, and it's that the garden, again, it's kind of like a giant circle around it, but the garden it's not like a literal garden, it's like a palace, sort of, but you see a wall of trees where the garden is, sort of thing. It's not just this big open garden. It is surrounded by trees on all sides.
Yeah.
And you don't see anything. You see some trees.
When they're walking, Navori kind of looks over at Sybil and is like, "You think I should do like some retcon, like climb up in a tree and see what I can find?"
Oh, please don't.
Shit. Okay.
So you guys head in the direction of the Adventurers Guild or Fletching's Catch.
Yeah.
All right, you guys head off that way. You do pass some people that are walking, and occasionally they stop and kind of look at you before shuffling off quickly.
I mean, if they stop and look at them, Cass is gonna like.
Okay, yeah.
She's gonna go
Yeah.
over and she's gonna
It's
be
like a
like,
Pokemon
"Hello,
battle."
citizen."
Yeah.
Eye contact.
Okay, yeah. A couple.
And she's gonna start asking generic ass questions about who runs the city, what the politics are like a tourist. She sounds like a tourist. It sounds like she's done this before, possibly when she first came to Sigil.
All right, make a persuasion roll, just a general one.
Sure.
Okay. Despite your kind of intimidating stature, they seem more interested than they do afraid. So when you ask your questions, you get not circumspect. You get answers that are not very specific and sound like it's someone kind of not having fun with you, but they're people that are used to not giving direct answers. So yeah, when you ask like who rules, you get you get the obvious Titania and Oberon. When you ask like what the politics are like, they just tell you flimsy, fun, interesting, depending on who you ask. None of them sound serious. You get the sense that it's because they don't engage with the politics. What else do you ask?
She's gonna ask like, I guess, how many of the Archfey are like out there in the city doing their thing.
Okay. You typically get the answer enough or not enough.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
As this is happening, Sybil in the background seems to have reached a small epiphany. And she heads to the Adventurers Guild.
Okay. So, as you guys are traveling and Kess asks those questions, eventually you do come upon the building that you know to be the Fletching's
You're cutting out
Catch.
again.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Goodbye.
How about now? Now?
You're good.
You're,
Fine.
you're
Okay.
good.
Yeah, so eventually you come upon the building that you know to be the Fletching's Catch. And you head on in, and you see,
I thought we were...
What?
Yeah, never mind. Sorry, I confused our inn names.
Oh, yeah. You walk in, and you see Benedict sitting at a table with,
She
like...
goes right to Benedict.
Yeah, he's sitting there with, like, solitaire spread out in front of him.
Oh my god.
Oh, hello!
Sybil has a seat next to Benedict, and she's
Uh,
like, Benny!
Please,
you-
yes.
Benedict!
Thank you.
You are exactly who I wanted to see.
Excellent! Always happy to be of assistance.
You just know so much. More than I could certainly ever memorize. And frankly, it's impressive.
Please.
I was wondering, you mentioned the guy whose name I'm not supposed to say. Do you know of any other Archfey? Just, in general?
Make a persuasion roll.
Okay. What is my modifier?
+4.
Not for persuasion.
It's your charisma, isn't it?
Plus 6.
Hey.
I have the little dot
I just
checked out.
my dice. Oh no.
Oh my
I
god!
rolled an 8. A fucking 8. I have a plus 6 to persuasion, and I rolled an 8.
He looks at you and blinks a few times, and oh, I don't know them all. Unfortunately, there's quite a lot. Yes, there's quite a lot, and many of them just live out in the woods. Believe it or not.
Navori sidles up too.
Ah, hi, hello, Navori. Hello, hi.
Hello, Benedict.
Can I?
Like,
Can
you say you don't know a lot.
Not
What do you know?
make a persuasion roll.
Here we fucking go.
Oh fuck! Almost dropped all my dice again.
Oh no.
Well, I know 3. The big 3 that interact directly with Queen Titania and Prince Oberon. Oh wow, I don't like saying those names. Anyway, yes. There is Veronestra, their daughter. She is the party girl, I suppose is the term for it. She is the archfey of revelry. She is the joy. I don't have anything flowery for her. She's Veronestra. Yes. There is Relcath. He is the forest itself, the twisting vines, the high-reaching trees, the bows that hold the children close and protect us all.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And then there's Skelai, well, the trickster archfey. He's a small one, but from what I understand, do not call him small. But he's a trickster. He is the one that, well, plays tricks on people and heads the leprechauns.
Huh.
Those are the ones that I know, personally, and the ones that I am not afraid to say their names. Again, there are the wild ones, but I don't know those. I've just heard that you don't want to cross paths. Especially.
Are they like the unseelie?
No. Well, some are, but there's also some that are, well, you just don't want to cross in the wild. I've heard stories. They make deals that are unpleasant and difficult to get out of.
Sybil looks into the camera like she's in the office.
There are also some that don't identify with either court, and you really shouldn't speak to those. Some of them have been cast out, even.
Oh. Did they like do something so bad that neither would want them?
I don't know the specifics, I just know I've been told to avoid any hag.
Well, it's good to know, at least, I guess.
Yeah, never did hear a story about a hag that ended a good way.
Oh,
Yeah.
and if you ever come across a theater, do not engage. Don't watch it, just leave.
Wait, but I love the theatre.
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
What
But
happens if you watch the theatre?
does it like suck out your soul?
I don't know, I've never seen it, I've only heard not to do it. It's part of the pamphlet that I was given when I came to help establish the Fletchings Catch.
Wait, you got a fucking pamphlet?
Yes,
Can I see it?
it's gone.
What, did it like? Did you lose it?
Well, it could always there.
We had it
Perhaps.
taken away.
Oh, that's
Is it like the
unfortunate.
first draft of a pamphlet?
No, it was simply that they did not like us having it.
Oh, they didn't like you knowing, not to do certain things. Because they
Exactly.
wanted you to do the things.
It's. They called it unfair.
Like a cheat sheet sort of thing.
Yes. Basically.
I have a question.
Yes, Sybil.
So, right, so it's the queen and the prince, but like, why isn't it the queen and the king?
There simply isn't. There's the queen and the prince. That's it. That's all there's ever been, as far as I'm aware.
But why isn't he a king?
Maybe because she's, like, way more impressive. Or maybe because she's got the power. I don't
You
know.
could always go ask.
I really don't think that we could.
Oh, they say that Oberon allows some individuals to come in so long as they prove themselves worthy to the guards.
Sybil is like that cat, no, like banana face.
Why, Asim's gotten through once or twice and told stories of Titania's beauty for a solid year, actually.
Where is he?
Ugh, he's off doing Asim's.
Is he like...
I don't know.
Is it...
I don't ask.
Okay. Fair. Navori has this look like she's trying to figure out what kind of mischievous bullshit he might be doing.
Well,
Thanks, that gives us a good idea of what not to cross ever. Yeah?
You're welcome. Do you...
alright, we're gonna go. Do you need anything? Just, in general.
No, I'm okay. Thank you, though.
Alright.
Actually have something for you, Benedict.
Oh,
For
do
all of
you?
your help.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh.
Yeah, and she pulls out one of those bottles,
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
gives it a little waggle, hands it over to Benedict. I got you something for being such a wonderful. And
Oh.
lending it to you.
What is it?
It's called a storyteller's potion. When you drink it, and get this, when you tell a story, everything you imagine will come out as an illusionary image to go with your wonderful tale. Just you imagined it. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to save this for the most opportune moment.
Wonderful.
Oh god.
You're gonna regret it.
I hope we get to see.
Yeah, I can only hope that we're there to witness it.
Cass just like inwardly groans.
I want to note that, like, most everything that Sybil says about Benedict lacks any sort of irony, by the way. Like, she does really genuinely want to be there to see it.
I mean, Navori does too.
Maybe when we're back. Just gonna head out, huh?
Yeah, yeah, something gets up and kind of meanders.
Okay. You guys just head right back out?
I mean,
I figure, and then Sybil, like, is like, alright, so...
so, like, we know names.
Yeah.
We don't know location side from one sort of, and we can sort of guess, but
I feel like my options are being whittled down.
mm,
Sybil, palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms spaghetti. She does not look enthused. she looks like she's rapidly approaching a decision she doesn't want to go to. But she's like, all right, I'm gonna, so, I don't really want to deal with a trickster a cut above the other tricksters, so we can just cross that one guy off the list. And the king and queen's daughter probably isn't doing anything that daughter wouldn't already do, so I guess we're still at fucking square one unless I go do the thing I was gonna do.
Do you not want to do the thing?
I'm gonna do the thing, because if I don't do the thing, then I'm gonna fucking wonder, hey, what happened if I did the thing?
Yeah, that's always the worst.
Yeah, so, if anyone feels any particular way, feel free to mention it, because I'm probably just gonna sneak in if not.
Well,
I don't think that's wise.
I can help you if you're gonna sneak.
It's probably not wise, but I feel like if I go there as myself, then someone's gonna lie to me.
What if you went there as yourself, disguised, and we got in through the guards, like Benedict was saying?
I mean,
At least then you'd
probably-
be with the whole party.
yeah, but it'd be like if she's the only one disguised, it'd be like, well, it's obviously not.
It's Oberon, he's going to see through it anyway, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
but if I
we keep-
avoid him...
But
So,
no,
we
what is the thing, right? Like, how many times have we said his name? How long does he hear? He probably already fucking knows.
I mean,
probably.
he probably assumes that I'm saying his name all the time. He just seems like that kind of guy. Like,
Very true.
not to, I mean, yeah, to rag on him. Like, he seems like, oh yeah, they're saying my name. Checks out. Like,
I think it would probably be better if we all went together.
Yeah, I don't think splitting up or doing any sneaking around is really going to help much.
well, then I guess I'll just go as myself. And Sybil fucking throws her hands up and she walks in the direction of the garden.
Okay.
Navari follows and she's like, hey, just in case though. And she like pats Sybil on the shoulder and gives her blessing of the trickster so she has advantage on stealth checks. Yeah.
Okay.
Sybil's
You
like, thanks,
sneak for you.
I need that.
Okay.
No problem.
You head towards the center of the city, heading to the giant, it's just a ton of trees that are really, really dense. And once you reach it, you see that there's no way in that you see. But you look down to the east further, and you see what looks like guards, almost. Or like a guard post, maybe. So I'm assuming you just turn down and head that way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, as they're walking, Sybil's like, oh, this isn't gonna work. Alright, I feel good about this.
Okay. And you turn the corner and you find yourself in front of two relatively large, winged individuals. And by large, I mean like cherub-sized. They're basically large pixies, I guess. And they're
Do
holding.
they look like fat little babies?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
But like, not like you look at it and you're like, that's supposed to look like a baby, It looks like something's wearing the skin of a baby.
This is the
Is it
only
like
way
when-
God.
Is it like
That's
when
even worse.
Renaissance artists tried to
Yeah.
paint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little mint babies.
Yeah, it's like, I know it's supposed to be a baby, but that's not what babies look like.
Maria is deeply unsettled.
Okay, but like the wings, are they feathered wings or are they like fairy wings?
They're fairy wings.
Okay.
Alright.
Important.
That makes
Yeah.
it worse. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they look you over with brows furrowed, and one flutters up to you, a little pike in hand, and... What is your business?
Sybil looks at the baby, and she's like, well, I don't know. All right, so this is just going to be uncomfortable to explain. So let me just. Does this mean anything to you? And she pulls the stone out.
The baby looks at the stone and... Ah, well, I see. That means I am supposed to let you through, I suppose.
And Sybil like looks at him like, that actually worked. I didn't.
I
think
didn't say you'd get in, I said I'm supposed to. However,
Yeah, no, but I didn't think it would even get that far. So we're really getting somewhere.
I require to test you.
Right.
Impress me.
Impressed you.
Make me a deal that I cannot refuse.
Navori just makes an oh face. Doesn't say anything.
Sybil
Oh no.
was not ready for this. And now I have to think on the fly, but it's 12:35 at night.
Yeah,
I'm very tired.
yeah.
Sybil just nods her head a few times, looks at the baby, and is like, "So what's the time limit on?"
Oh, there's no time limit.
So I just gotta have a good think. All right, I'm gonna take a step back 3 feet over there and just consider for a moment.
We can stop here and pick up next week if you need to have a think. Because it is late.
Wait, just give me.
Alright, everyone vamp a bit.
Be right back then.
So while Sybil is over here giving herself a think, a baby is staring at you, Kess.
Fair.
Yes, she's resisting the urge to punch it.
The little baby flies over to you, and...
Wait. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's flying over to Kess, though.
Sybil comes over and she's like, "Wait, I know what I need."
The baby was slowly reaching out for the helmet, and then...
Oh
Oh,
my-
yes!
Sybil is going to use Fey Presence.
Okay.
So the creature has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Or be charmed.
Okay. Hold on.
The DC is 14.
Rolled a 5.
Okay. Sybil reaches into her pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and Sybil says, as she reaches into her pocket, she pulls out a crystal. And when she pulls out a crystal, like a light gust of air, breezes around them and blows their hair back. And she goes, "I have this crystal, right? And if you hold this crystal, so long as you're holding on to this crystal, in 3 days, you will meet your true love." And when she says that, she uses prestidigitation to put the illusory image, like a reflection of a woman's face in the reflection of the amethyst or whatever the fuck crystal it is. And she like looks at the baby.
The baby is entranced by this crystal and reaches out for it. And
And she pulls her hand back.
oh.
You gotta let me through first.
Okay, fine. I just need that crystal.
All right, open up the gates though. You can't do no, not till we through the gates.
The baby waves the little spear in the air, and the gate that wasn't really there so much as like the trees were all bent together very tightly, and as the baby waves its little spear, the trees kind of lean back and up and create a path or like a tunnel for you to walk in.
All right, she's gonna go through the gate, and as she does, she can like toss at the crystal.
The baby fucking dives for it. And then heads over. I'm assuming everyone just walks in.
Yeah.
Okay, as you guys walk in, and just as the trees kind of bend back together behind you, you hear the baby yammering on about his true love to the other baby. And then you hear the words, "You!" and then the trees shut. And that's where we're ending tonight.
If the baby had like counter offered or wanted more, I was gonna have Clive be like, "You can pet my dog."
Oh my god.
Oh. Alright, Internet, we'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.